Took you long enough, monster. Hey! You with the big pointy ears, help me! Do something! Come on! Rescue me! What's the holdup? I don't know if you can understand a word I'm saying, but let that human go free. However measly, his life has value. Took you long enough, pal! Anyway, thanks for putting in a good word for me. Now let's get out of here, yeah?
Welcome everyone to the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z. So after Android 17 and 18 had beat down the Z fighters and crushed their spirits, everything above it, what ended up happening next is the 16, 17, and 18 go on a little bit of a trip. The trip is to go look for Goku and try to kill Goku. But they already know what was going on, and Goku was removed from his house. Luckily, the androids did not destroy his house, showcasing that the androids of our time of this current timeline is different from the androids of the future. Androids of the future most likely destroyed his house, blah 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 blah. They went on a killing spree in the future. So this one is a little bit more different. The androids are, quite honestly, compared to what Trunks' future androids are, compared to the androids of the current timeline, two different versions of the androids. Very interesting. We'll talk about it a little later. As that continued to go on, as you can tell here, Goku did get the virus out of his system, got it out of his heart, fully healed, and Nate was introduced into the hyperbolic time chamber. While in the hyperbolic time chamber, they are training to gain new powers, aka perfecting Super Saiyan. If you guys don't remember that, in the Frieza saga, becoming a Super Saiyan was one thing. And then you fast forward, perfecting Super Saiyan is the next thing. And not only that, they're trying to get more powers. And then, as you can tell right here in this video here, the Z fighters are just chilling, and the androids pop up because they can't sense the key energy from androids because they're robots. Here in the future part, they would have killed everyone here with no problems. Actually, here they didn't kill nobody. We get Android 17 and Piccolo go out into a random island, and they do, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the best fights in the entire Dragon Ball Z history, in my personal opinion. One of the epic fights between the two is what up happening here. In the mix of them fighting, there is a new threat that has come along way beforehand. His name is Cell. Cell is a bio android from the future, from a future timeline that came here to this timeline to absorb Android 17 and 18 to get to his perfect form. Here's the problem, though. Running into Piccolo, Trunks, and Krillin and company, Cell realizes he is not strong enough to even deal with the Z fighters at their current strength. Not only that, if the Z fighters are this strong, he definitely can't do anything against Android 17 and 18, who is also probably just as strong, even more stronger than he is. Which leads to Cell disappearing using the solar flare. Ironically, using solar flare, he ended up disappearing, escaping Piccolo's wrath, and he goes on and starts absorbing as many people as possible. The more people he absorbs, the more power he gets. The more power he gets, that means he can take Android 17 and Android 18 down without any problem at all. So, you fast forward to here, in this battle of Piccolo versus Android 17, which is a fantastic battle, in my personal opinion. If you have not seen that battle, you're missing out. You're definitely missing out. While they're doing that, Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta are in the hyperbolic time chamber, which lets you train a year's worth of training in one day. Remember that, in one day. So in 24 hours, they have a 1 year. They would have went through 1 year of training, mastering and becoming more powerful at that time. This helps them to achieve new Super Saiyan transformations, help them perfect Super Saiyan, and also for Goku is to get Gohan to become a Super Saiyan for the first time ever. While they're trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber doing their thing, here we have Android 17 and 18 finally being hunted down by Cell, who has gained enough power, to where he believes he can now absorb 17 and 18 with no problem. This leads to a massive problems between this leads to a massive problem between the Z fighters and Cell, as now it goes from fighting against the androids to legitimately surviving against Cell and getting away from Cell. The Piccolo, as you could tell, uses a light grenade attack, one of his specialty attacks, to hopefully destroy Cell. But in reality, what happens? Cell tanks that attack. He survives that attack. He goes on and he absorbs android number 17. Unfortunate for everybody, android 17 is captured. Android 18 is next on his list. However, now Cell in his semi-perfect form, he is hunted. He is being hunted now by Vegeta. Vegeta and Trunks comes out of the hyperbolic time chamber, locked and loaded, more powerful than they are. They come to find Cell. Cell, knowing how Vegeta is in his same DNA, he ended up talking Cell into allowing him to absorb Android 18 to reach his perfect status and say, don't you want to see me at my absolute power, my absolute peak? You don't want me to do that? Of course, Vegeta, ego, same as most of the Saiyans anyway. One of the problems I do have with the Saiyan race is them being more cocky, more egoish. Is that he's like, I do want to see that. Yeah, I do want to see that. And he allows Cell to go and try to absorb 18. While he's trying to go absorb 18, Trunks try to stop him, which leads to Vegeta versus Trunks for a miniature fight. As they're fighting it out, Krillin, as a button was created to shut down Android 18, had a chance to shut her down, but instead allows her to live, and which ended up causing everyone as eventually Cell absorbs Android 18, reaching his perfect status. With him reaching his perfect status, he feel like he's the ultimate being. Vegeta can't do anything against him, which lead to Cell deciding to showcase his strength and skill sets and his ability and what he wants as a world martial arts tournament. Yes, people. Yes, you heard that right. He's offered everybody to come here for his world martial arts tournament and to fight. Have opportunity to fight him 1v1 in this said tournament. Anybody and everyone's allowed to come and fight. Bring as many people as possible to fight Cell. So the first person who challenges Cell into the Cell games, it happens to be Goku. Goku's the automatically Goku saying he is stronger than everyone around, and everyone else just need to butt out of it. I take that back. Let me rephrase that. Mr. Satan and some of his colleagues try to fight Cell, and Cell just no diff them aura form. Get him up out of here. Gone somewhere. Funny moment. And then Goku steps up to fight Cell 1v1. Cell and Goku goes at it, fight at their maximal power. Well, Goku is fighting as strong as he can at this point of time, which end up having the ring the ring is starting to collapse, and Cell throwing out the rules of, all right, no more ring outs. We fight until we can't fight no more. Let's just do that. And that's what ended up happening. They ended up having this fantastic fight going back and forth. But at the end of it all, Goku Goku cannot beat Cell. Goku even admitted that he is no match for Cell. Cell is more powerful than Goku gave credit for, even using a instant transmission Kamehameha and blew up the upper half of Cell, and Cell just regenerated. There's nothing else that Goku can do, and he quits. Yes, for the first time ever, Goku decides to quit the fight and says there's only one person that's stronger than him out here, and that happens to be Gohan. Goku would then give Cell a Senso Beam, which is okay. Gives a Senso Beam powered up, and then have Gohan fight Cell at full strength. In the middle of this fight in the full strength, Cell tours with Gohan, messed with him a lot because he said Gohan has his hidden his hitting potential so much, and that he's getting upset that he's not using his full power against him. Even though Gohan is screaming that he is, in reality, he was not. He was not tapping into that hidden potential of his, which allows Cell to create the Cell Juniors. And the Cell Juniors will go on and fight and torture and destroy the Z Fighters one by one. They are destroying him and stuff like that, up until the point to where even Android 16 end up being killed by Cell himself. Once that happened, once that happened, the rage of watching his friends and getting beaten down, and then watching Android 16 being destroyed like he was, Gohan's rage and potential finally popped out for the first time. And what ended up happening here is Gohan snapping into what we're about to see here. Gohan finally reaches the next stage of the Super Saiyan transformation, what happens to be Super Saiyan 2. And now the final battle is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Perfect Cell. Before Cell can even touch Gohan, Gohan just absolutely just no diff for him. I mean, so quickly, Cell couldn't react to him. Gohan goes on and kills every single Cell Junior with no problems. Look at him. My boy was just moving. That's the Gohan we grew. That's the Gohan I ended up loving. The man was no different. The man beating his tail, destroying the Cell Juniors 1v1, pretty much just wiping the floor with him. And then, so arrogant as a Saiyan, drunk with power, something we'll talk about again in the future. Gohan allows Cell to self-destruct, but did not know the self-destruct would destroy the entire Earth, and Gohan has no defense to that into protecting Earth, which would lead to Goku sacrificing himself in King Kai and King Kai's planet, tragically, sacrificing himself to have Cell blow up on King Kai's planet. Goku is dead. This would this would be a major turning point in the entire Dragon Ball Z theme because the main character of the show is dead. But we also now have Gohan. We have Gohan taking over. He's sad. Everyone's upset about it. But then Cell returns way stronger and got a Zenkai boost. Now, the Zenkai boost happened because Cell has so many people's DNA, including Saiyan DNA. So his body, yes, it exploded, but it left just a little bit for him to regenerate and to gain more power, which led to Gohan and Cell going at it again. The problem was Cell was now matching Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for a little while, which that was no good for anybody. In a final clash, a final clash between two Kamehamehas of Cell and Gohan, which even Goku from the afterlife is trying to guide Gohan to completely just push through him. Just push it. Push it through him. You got it. Let's push him. Just do it. What are you doing? Let's do it. And Gohan feel like he can't. Vegeta hurting everything, watching his son Trunks getting killed in front of him. Vegeta uses a desperate attack that distracted Cell long enough for Gohan to unleash the final Kamehameha, the one-handed Kamehameha, walking with it, absolutely disintegrating, not destroying, disintegrated Cell. Let me fast forward that part. Let me get to that part, my boy. Hold on. Right there, look at my boy Vegeta. Vegeta coming in clutch right there. Vegeta coming in clutch. That nice distraction right there leads to a maxed out one-handed Kamehameha, strong enough to destroy and eliminate, to disintegrate Cell, finally, in getting his W that we all have been waiting for. Beautiful moment to where it's a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. Gohan became the greatest character in fiction at this point in time, in my personal opinion. He was the greatest thing. He was the greatest thing since Sliced Bread walking around here, showcasing his strength. It was beautiful. Definitely beautiful. Definitely beautiful. There's a lot of things to talk about, though. Let me let that go through. Yeah, disintegrated that man. He couldn't record. He couldn't. Yeah, Gohan disintegrated that man's, and yep, all that gone. GG, get him up out of here. Ooh. Love those blasts. I don't know why, but Dragon Ball has that beautiful blast, and they send them out. Ooh, it's always beautiful. But let's talk turkey, though. Let's talk turkey. Let's talk about. So, what did all this do? What did all this do for Dragon Ball as a whole? For a lot of people, this was the ending to Dragon Ball. This was it. Dragon Ball Z could end here. I think everybody would have been happy. There's some things I still don't understand. One thing comment down section. Comment down below. One thing I don't understand is the whole future timeline crisis, is what I call it. Trunks came from a different timeline. We've seen his future timeline. His future timeline has the androids. That's one timeline. We have the current timeline with Gohan and them, with Goku and them still alive, right? We got that timeline. There's a third timeline to where Cell comes from. He talked about it, but I'm still a little confused about that third timeline, because in that third timeline, it's like I don't know exactly what was said. I feel like he was saying that the androids didn't exist in his timeline or something crazy like that, and then he traveled to Trunks' timeline, and then in Trunks' timeline, the androids were too powerful for him to absorb. He was too powerful for him to absorb, which ended up which led him to our timeline, make him go back to our timeline to where he can grow, and he know that the androids would be around, and then he grew to becoming perfect Cell, something like that. So that's three timelines being affected by the future Trunks thing. And that's not the first time, because later on in Dragon Ball Super, when we get to reviewing that same concept happened again. But we'll explain that. I'll talk about that when we get there. That still throws me off to this day. Maybe I got the timeline wrong. Am I tripping? Let me know in the comment section. Was the Cell that grew up in the current timeline, is that the exact same Cell from Trunks' timeline, or was this a third timeline he was talking about? Because I know in the future timeline, Cell said it himself, he couldn't absorb those androids because they was way too powerful for him. But in this timeline, he could. But I feel like there was a third timeline, because he didn't. Because even so, whenever Trunks goes back to the future, Trunks defeats both 17 and 18 easily. By the way, very easily. By the way, and then Cell appeared. But. And then Trunks already talked about Cell going back in time to steal those androids. He said, "How do you know about that?" or whatever. It's something crazy like that. It's something, like I said, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I got it wrong. Let me know that in the comment section. But the Cell arc, it does a lot of things. First of all, it elevated from Frieza. We saw Frieza being a planetary tyrant threat that enslaved the same race, and they broke free, and he got caused by it, a Saiyan killing him, ironically. And then you fast forward to this android to where a made man machine was able to go toe to toe with natural Super Saiyan transformation and natural progression, which led to them being pushed from basic Super Saiyans to the next level, which is Gohan hitting Super Saiyan 2. Don't forget that the muscle bound Super Saiyan, which they call it Super Saiyan or something like that, which was something that Trunks and them achieved. But even Goku and them talked about it, said, yeah, this is cool, but this is not the next evolution because it's actually slower and weaker. And then they end up getting Super Saiyan 2. So we lost Goku. We lost Goku, which is major because someone like Vegeta, Goku is his rival. So losing his rival like that kind of hurts everything about Vegeta. Vegeta doesn't know what to do with himself. And then for Trunks, he can't keep that Trunks because that Trunks is from the future. That's a whole different Trunks. That Trunks is going back to his timeline. In his Trunks is a baby. So he can't do anything with that child. He can't do anything with that child yet. He can't train him. He can't do anything. He has to just wait. So while he's waiting, he doesn't have a rival because Gohan was so much more powerful than him that's not a rival for him. That's never been his rival. His rival has been Goku all this time. So now Goku is no longer around. They can no longer have the rematch that Goku has promised Vegeta all that time. He can't have his rematch, meaning Vegeta really doesn't have anything else for him to do. Cell felt like the perfect ending because this was also not only is Cell the perfect ending, it's also the perfect ending to the Red Ribbon Army. Dr. Gero creating, being part of the Red Ribbon Army, something that happened in Dragon Ball, Goku getting rid of them, and then turn around these androids up around, and then they finally get rid of these androids. In the pretty much the last remnant of the Red Ribbon Army is right here and is dead and gone and finally destroyed. Cell being the last member, quote unquote, being the last member because Dr. Joy created him, being the last member. No more Red Ribbon Army. So wrapping up the Red Ribbon Army, finally completed. There's no more steps for the Z Fighters to take. There's nothing else left. They've done with the drama on with the Saiyans arriving, with Vegeta, Nappa arriving, dealing with the drama on planet Namek, traveling across to a whole new planet in general, and dealing with that, and then coming back home, dealing with that same threat, coming back again, and then dealing with these androids. Sound like this is a perfect wrap up and a perfect story development for everybody involved, to where now that's it. The main hero is dead in Goku. The new hero arrives in Gohan, and we're done. In the past, I don't know if you guys knew this. Y'all might know this. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you should know this. When that happened, it was time. He was planning on pushing Gohan into a new direction, Dragon Ball into a new direction with Gohan as the main character. Meaning, I'm not too for sure if the Buu Saga would have actually happened or not. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because if he was trying to play, if he was like, well, Gohan's now the new character, that means, in my personal opinion, before the fan bases, before the fan base of Dragon Ball pushed back against the idea of Gohan being the main character, it seemed like as though his next writing of Dragon Ball evolves around Gohan being the main character. Now, I'm not too for sure if at some point he would have an idea of creating new villains or something for Gohan to take on and be the new role for Goku. Or I'm not too for sure. That's an interesting thing. I would love to see if anybody. I don't think anybody asked him that. I wonder what his original plans would have been. I do wonder what his plans would have been, but I don't think we've got a chance to ask him, and now he's gone, so we can't ask him at all now. But I wonder if that was his plan, was like creating a new everything with Gohan as the new lead, and then maybe have it to one of the villains end up killing Vegeta, and then Vegeta goes to the afterlife, and then Goku and Vegeta can finally have their fight. That's potentially in the Dragon Ball Z anime, not Kai, but the original. I mean, not Kai, but the other anime. They did do the World Martial Arts Tournament that showcased Goku and Super Saiyan 3 more, and everything that Goku's doing over there, while they move on to the Buu Saga and stuff. I mean, and then the Buu Saga and stuff, all that stuff happens. So I'm not too sure exactly where that would have fit in, but Gohan being the new face of Dragon Ball Z, I think it could have worked. He did get a lot of major character development. So for Goku, a lot of people didn't watch Dragon Ball, classic Dragon Ball, which is a shame if you have not. If you're a Dragon Ball, can't call yourself Dragon Ball when you haven't. A lot of people haven't watched the original Dragon Ball, so they didn't see the upbringing in the in depth of Goku as a character. But when Dragon Ball Z started, Gohan comes and he's just this whiny little kid, but he's 4 years old. I think we keep forgetting that he's like 4 years old, and he's tossed in the battle, and he's tossed into all this stuff, and he has to deal with all this crap and getting his neck broken, and you know what I'm saying? He's dealing with all this, and he's getting character development based off of that and getting stronger as a character. He's no more whining and stuff. He's gaining confidence, but then he gets that maximal confidence, but then get that cockiness of a Saiyan. I think that's beautiful, right? In my personal opinion. Overall, this, in my personal opinion, I think the Cell Saga ended Dragon Ball Z. I think I could have said, if this was it, if that was the last thing of Dragon Ball Z, that's job well done. I don't think you can top. I mean, it's kind of hard to top that. The Buu Saga is next. I'm gonna cover that in one big old video. It's gonna be one fat video. And I might cover it in one big video, but then again, I might do an entire Dragon Ball Z review and then hit it like that. I'm not too for sure just yet. Y'all see it. Y'all see it when y'all see it. But yeah, I feel like Dragon Ball Z, I feel like the Cell Saga hit everything, just tied up everything perfectly and ended it off in a high note. And Goku staying dead because he felt like everybody was coming after him because he's the problem because of his past. I think that's ironic. I mean, iconic too. That's why he's like, yeah. He said, no. The Red Ribbon came. I mean, the Vegeta and Nav and them came to Earth because I'm a Saiyan. And my brother came down here because I'm a Saiyan. Frieza, I mean, and then going to Planet Namek because I'm hurt and I need the Dragon Balls, and we want to bring people back alive because Piccolo dead, and then going there and dealing with Frieza is my fault for being a Saiyan and being an uprising against Frieza, being going against Frieza's word, even though I have no idea. I just going against him because he's a bad guy. And then getting the virus and stuff, and then the androids, because the androids are Red Ribbon Army, which I dealt with when I was a kid, and Dragon Ball and eliminated their whole base, and that's my fault. So all this stuff is kind of my fault. So I think the world would be better off if I just stayed dead. And then I'm not talking about any of the movies. I have not talked about any of the movies because it's impossible to fit the movies into the canon storyline. But if you wanted to talk about some of the stuff from the movies, you have Turles and the Tree of Might. You had, I'll have to look up the movies actually. I'll have to look up the movies by in order. I'll have to look them up because Garlic Jr. was a Kami problem. It was Kami's problem, not Goku's problem. So that's not Goku's problem. Lord Slug, I believe Lord Slug was more of a, I don't know. I forgot exactly what Slug was. Log. I forgot exactly what Lord Slug was supposed to be about. But the Dead Zone was Garlic Jr. and kidnapping Gohan and stuff. Right. The World's Strongest. Dr. Willow trying to find the perfect body, which would have been Master Roshi, but then Goku and them exist, so that's there. The Tree of Might was Turles absorbing the life planet on the Earth, which kind of like the evil version of Goku is what they was doing. Lord Slug. You can make an argument Lord Slug was to an extent trying to get revenge. I mean, like, yeah, he got eternal youth and stuff, getting revenge against the Namek and stuff like that because he got cast out, similar like the Demon King Piccolo, same thing almost. Cooler's revenge against Cooler revenge for his brother Frieza's death, Goku's fault. Super Android 13, once again, Red Ribbon, Goku's fault. Brawly, the legendary Super Saiyan Brawly, Goku's fault because of crying as a child. Emotional damage to Brawly, pretty much like that. And then after that, the Bojack gang, that is Gohan's villain. Brawly coming back, but now he's only fighting Gohan because Goku's dead. Baya Brawley, we don't speak about that. And then that's pretty much it, because then you got the Fusion Reborn and stuff, which is post Boo arc. Wrath of the Dragon is post Boo arc. The Path to Power. Path to Power. Oh, they redid a new one. Oh, I didn't know that. And then you skip around and you get the super stuff. Yeah. So a handful of those movies was Goku's fault, but makes sense. But hey, that's it. I'm done rambling. Sorry, y'all know me. I like to ramble. As I'm done rambling, that's it. That's the end of this podcast. That's the end of this episode of Dragon Ball Z Cell Saga. We'll be covering the Majin Buu arc next, coming soon. After we're done with Dragon Ball Z, I think I want to discuss some things about each character or something like that. You'll see it. Y'all see it. Like, comment, subscribe, and guess what? I'll catch you on the next one.